Her walls were still peeling. Her tap still groaned. But there was music now, and gifts. And maybe, just maybe, something like hope. The gifts didn't stop. Chizoba Werlu brought her fresh flowers one Sunday afternoon, roses in a jar. She would later keep her pens in another time. A pair of flat shoes she had once admired in a passing comment. It wasn't the price that made her heart swell. It was the attention, the memory. She started waiting for his messages, smiling at her phone in the middle of public buses. She caught herself humming the songs on his playlist, replaying their nights in her head like her favorite movie. She was falling, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't try to stop herself. Value was the last person Ruby expected to see standing at her door that Saturday evening. That there she was, tall, fair, elegant, with sharp cheekbones and a fine dentition that gave her the kind of smile people didn't easily forget. She was a mirror image of their mother, except younger, tougher, and far more outspoken. They weren't close, never had been. Value kept in touch once in a blue moon, usually with a short text or the occasional voice note that ended as quickly as it began. A graduate of mass communication, she'd always had a voice that demanded attention and a presence that could silence a room. She had found Ruby through Saina, an old friend from university, who now lived in Port Harcourt. He had run into Ruby one busy afternoon at Market Square. She was at the checkout line, cradling a nylon bag of toiletries and chin-chin, when he stopped her. "You're Ruby, right? Value's sister?" They exchanged pleasantries. He insisted on walking her home. At her Rumawala apartment, she entertained him with zobo and chin-chin. That they didn't talk much. They didn't have much to say. He left after a while, but he called sometimes. Short calls, casual check-ins. And during one of those calls, Sana casually mentioned, "I saw your sister, you know. She's in Port Harcourt. Lives alone." That was all it took. So when Ruby opened her door to find Value standing there with a nylon bag of fruit and a raised brow full of suspicion, she froze. "Surprise," Value said, stepping in like she owned the place. Ruby stood still, heart racing. "How did you find me?" Ruby stammered, "Long story. Let's just say your Market Square admirer has a big mouth." They sat on the bed talking about nothing and everything. Value peeled an orange like it owed her money and scanned the apartment with a subtle mix of judgment and concern. "So this is where you find peace?" she asked dryly. Ruby didn't answer. Then, as if summoned by name, Chizoba arrived with Obina Clifford. Obina was fair-skinned, with a crook smile and a calm confidence. He was free-spirited, and unlike Chizoba, his charm didn't demand applause. He made jokes, teased Chizoba, and had a loyalty that could carry secrets to the grave as long as it didn't involve murder. He saw Ruby and grinned wide. "Ah, O'Malley way thief, my guy heart. If you leave my friend, him fit colo." "Oh," Ruby laughed shyly. Value watched them all, quiet and alert. And later that night, after the men left, she turned to Ruby. "That man? He's too polished to be pure. Be careful." Ruby shook off Value's words like dust. She told herself her sister just didn't understand. Love wasn't a street corner, love was soft. Like the way Chizoba said her name. Like the way he texted her asterisk good morning. Beautiful asterisk before the sun even reached her window. He made her feel like poetry. Like maybe she wasn't broken. Like maybe her past was just a preface. He bought her paint and sketch pads even though she didn't paint, just because she once mentioned it. Like maybe she wasn't a broken. Like maybe her past was just a preface. He bought her paint and sketch pads even though she didn't paint, just because she once mentioned it. He brought cupcakes from her favorite bakery on days she felt too tired to leave her bed. He sent Uber rides for her to come see him in an apartment he has downtown away from his wife, and ran her baths, filled with eucalyptus and soft jazz. Ruby stopped writing poems and started writing fantasies. She imagined waking up next to him every morning. She pictured introducing him to her mother, as if that woman would even care. She imagined a life where no one raised their voice, where being loved didn't feel like war. With Chizoba, she was the girl in all the love stories she had ever read. And for now, that was enough. The first time it happened, it didn't feel like abuse. Chizoba had come over Ruby's place looking distant. He barely touched his food. "Why did you post that photo of us on your status?" he asked. Ruby blinked. "It was just a selfie. I didn't tag you." He sighed. "Still, you know the nature of my job. I deal with a lot of high-profile clients. It's not professional for my personal life to be out there. You don't want to mess with that, do you?" Ruby quickly apologized. Embarrassed, she deleted the photo. Value was listening and shaking her head. A few days later, he grew cold during a conversation when she asked him when she was coming to visit his mother. He got angry, and the next thing he accused her of sleeping around, trying to get him infected with something. "Don't bring infections to me. Ruby, I'm not one of those guys you're used to," he said casually, almost joking but not really. The words landed like a slap. She didn't respond. COULDN single quotes T. Her throat was tight. Then came the flowers. Then a voice note. "I didn't mean what I said. I was overwhelmed with work. Soon you will meet my mother. You know, I care about you too much and I love you."
And like a fool in a trance, a dark African girl, Ruby forgave him. She told Value about it later that evening. Her sister's eyes blazed. "And you forgave him?" Value hissed. "He told you not to infect him and made you feel like trash, then gave you roses and you melted." "You don't understand, Value," Ruby said, standing. "I understand enough. I understand abuse when I see it. And I know charm when it's used as a muzzle." The words burned. Ruby snapped. "You know what, Value? Leave me alone. I don't even know why I am talking about my relationship with you. You have never wanted to see me happy, and beside, you've always picked your friends over family. You only show up to criticize. You don't care. So stop acting like you do." Silence. Value didn't respond. She just picked up her bag and walked to the door. Ruby didn't cry. But when the door shut, the silence screamed louder than anything Value could have said.